Okay. Brother Chaplin said that this whole conference was about resting. So I wish to introduce you to a form of rest that is almost extreme. A form of rest that doesn't occur only during the sessions of meditation or during the wonderful sound of the bell, but a type of rest that subsists even when you are doing the most extremely difficult intellectual work, even when you are thinking of neurobiology, neurofeedback, and all these difficult scientific subjects. This form of rest has a name. The phenomenological tradition, the tradition that was founded by the German philosopher Edmund Husserl, who was born in 1858 and who died in 1936. So, in this phenomenological tradition, there is a fundamental act to be performed. But this act is supposed to suspend all the acts. It is called the epoche. Literally, it means cessation, suspension. In fact, it means that you suspend judgments about what there is, about what there is not. You suspend not only verbal judgments, but even perceptual judgments. You no longer perceive the cushion as a cushion. You perceive the cushion as it is. It's difficult, but let's be careful. This word, epoche, is a Greek word, as I told you. But in fact, in the history of Greek philosophy, it is the translation of a Sanskrit word. You all know this Sanskrit word. The Sanskrit word of which epoche is a translation is nirodha. Nirodha also means suspension, cessation. For instance, there is the third, I think it's the third element of truth, the cessation of sufferance. So it's dukkha nirodha. And also there is the second aphorism of the Yoga Sutra, in which you read that yoga is the cessation or the suspension of the processes of the mind. So suspension of any judgment, including the perceptual judgments. Okay, and including, of course, the scientific judgments, which is very important for us. So in order to see if you are really at rest at this moment, I will ask you some questions, if you don't mind. Maybe I will take one of you as a guinea pig and ask you a question. Maybe after all, why not? Ellie, do you have a brain?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, thank you. How do you know that?
I don't know.
Good. But still, you answered. Okay, you answered. So you have a reason for having answered yes to the question. What is your reason then?
My reason is that I have heard from my culture that such a thing as a brain exists and that it can be weighed and measured.
Excellent. So you know, this lady is clearly in the perfect state of rest. She knows where her knowledge comes from. She knows that her knowledge comes from the past memory that she now realizes as a memory of, previous things that you have read in the texts, or something that you have heard by other people, by neurobiologists, and so on. Sometimes you may have a more precise reason to believe that you have a brain. For instance, you go under the you see a picture of your brain. Wonderful, I have a brain. Or you have, as we did yesterday with Seven, you have an electrode on your head, and suddenly you see a signal. The signal must come from somewhere. Maybe it's from my brain, after all. So, okay, you know that you have a brain out of elements of memory, or, for instance, what you have read in treatises or heard, or you can have also perception. But all these things are elements of our present experience, be they memories, previous knowledge, or a direct perception of an image on the fMRI, or a track on the EEG. All these are experiences, present experiences. Okay? So before, what grounds our knowledge that we have a brain is our experience. So literally, experience comes first. It is here. It is now, and it contains all the elements for us to believe that we have a brain. So but with you it was all too easy. Okay. Now, how can we realize this present experience? Here, I wish to tell you some banal facts. It's so banal that you never, well, almost never notice that, except if you are good Buddhist practitioners. You know, Husserl said that phenomenology is the science of banalities, of trivial facts, things that are so trivial that nobody noticed them. So, for instance, there are two elementary experiments that have been proposed by Maurice Merleau-Ponty, the French phenomenologist, in which you realize where you are and who you are, really. Not, a compound of blood and cells and so on, but who you are now, at this very moment. The one who realizes that she or he is made of blood and cells. So, you open your eyes, and what you see is stunning, because you see, elements that are visible here. An arm, a chest, maybe my glasses, but in the middle of this field of vision, of visible things, there is a hole, a big hole. And through this big hole, everything is seen. Okay. Merleau-Ponty said, that means that seeing arises from the midst of what is seen. Seeing arises from what is seen. This is a very banal fact. In order to realize it more precisely, you can do the experiment of Douglas Harding. Maybe some of you have heard of Douglas Harding. He's an American teacher of a form of spirituality that is very personal to him. But it's very simple. For instance, this exercise. Point in front of you. For instance, you point towards this cushion. And what you see precisely is a round form with, ripples and so on. Okay, point towards this. Oh, this is the floor. Okay, well, at any rate, it's a wooden appearance. And then you point here towards, yes, here. What do you see? So that means that you are seeing the finger and not the moon that is that is pointed by the finger. Okay? Yes, I also see a finger, but I want to see what there is that is pointed by the finger. What is pointed by the finger? Well, yes, but I don't see. Here, exactly, yes. You. Okay, what is pointed by the finger? I could say it's me, but it would be, here again, a conceptualization. Who is me after all? What is pointed by the finger is the origin of awareness, nothing less. The seeing itself. What is pointed by this finger is the seeing. It's the awareness. It's where from awareness originates. So it's no longer a thing. It's not a thing of which I'm aware. It's awareness itself that is pointed by this finger. Okay. Another exercise. Look at this thing. you remember the gesture. Look at this thing. For me, now, it is a hand that I can see. And I can even touch it. I can touch my hand, okay, with the other hand. But this is not only something that can be touched or seen, it's something that can be touching. For instance, with this hand I can touch and feel the chair. It is touching. So this thing is at the same time touched and touching. It's reversible. Okay? This is an elementary fact. No one notices that usually. It's so banal, it's obvious. Nothing interesting. But Maurice Merleau-Ponty elaborated the concept of something that has this amazing characteristic of having at the same time the capacity of being aware of something and being the object of the awareness of something else. And this concept is called the flesh. The flesh is that kind of thing that is reversible, at the same time aware and object of awareness. You notice how exceptional our situation is. We are embodied, but what does it mean to be embodied? It means that we are at the same time visible for someone else and capable of seeing from this visible this sector of vision. Okay, now that we know all these things, we have withdrawn our attention close enough to ourselves to notice all these obvious, banal facts about ourselves, then we are ready to proceed and to ask, what is the truth about experience? What is the truth about experience? What is the truth about consciousness? Okay, all sorts of experiments and reasonings look like they point towards the idea that this that I'm supposed to have, namely the brain, is maybe the cause, the origin, or at least the correlate of my lived experience. All sorts of experiments and reasonings point in that direction. Yet, now that I have done the elementary act of rest, in which phenomenology consists, I can tell that this body of evidence that point towards the idea that this I am supposed to have in my skull is the origin of my experience, is itself a fact of my present experience. The famous neuropsychical correlation, the fact that there is a correlation between elements that I can record from fMRIs, from EEGs, and so on, and the lived experience of someone as it is, for instance, reported by this someone, this very fact of correlation is a fact of our experience. Either the experience of a neurobiologist who looks at, the data and hears the reports of the subject, or of the subject herself, who suddenly realizes, for instance, in neurofeedback, that her state of mind, her state of consciousness, is correlated with this track on an EEG. But here again, this is a complex experience of the subject, an experience of having the experience, and at the same time looking at the line, the track. I don't know how you say that. Okay, so this is an experience. Once again, an experience. Okay? Experience comes first, everywhere. Francisco Varela says, consciousness, experience is where I start from and where I come back at the end of the process. Its experience is everywhere, at the beginning and at the end of every process of thought, of reasoning, of construction of scientific theories, including scientific theories about the brain. So now let me do another exercise. In some books of, neurophilosophy, as it is called, you find the interesting idea that our brain is transparent to ourselves. Our brain is transparent to ourselves, according to these neurophilosophers. Which means that, in fact, our consciousness is produced by the brain. Our states of consciousness is produced by the brain, are produced by the brain. Our mental activity is produced by the brain, but we don't notice the brain. Our brain is transparent to ourselves. Okay? So this is the idea. So everything is made through the brain, but we don't notice the brain. We just notice the byproduct of the brain, which is the mental process or consciousness. Interesting idea. Yet, when you think a little bit harder, and you find another philosopher much earlier than the ones who claim that our brain is transparent to ourselves, you find a famous philosopher, a British philosopher called George Moore. And George Moore said, consciousness is transparent to ourselves. We don't notice our consciousness. We notice the objects of our consciousness. We notice the cushions, the floors, the chairs, the people, but we don't notice consciousness. Consciousness, according to him, is just a transparent window through which we see everything. Now, let's think a little bit harder. Remember, or no, precisely, don't think. Please drop all this thinking and rest and be there. But it's okay. When you reflect about this saying of the neurophilosophers who say, our brain is transparent to ourselves. Who is telling that? Someone who is taking the brain as an object of his or her present consciousness. And therefore, this person who says that the brain is transparent to ourselves is forgetting the present act of consciousness by which she or he judges that he has a brain, or she has a brain, and the brain is transparent to her, or him. Okay? So you see the reversibility of this idea of transparency. Maybe the brain is transparent to us, but the consciousness of the one who says that the brain is transparent to us is transparent to her or him. Okay? Now, what of these which one of these two judgments should be prevalent. Which one? Both seems perfectly okay. There is a sort of reversibility. You know, sometimes I can compare this with a sort of Mobius ribbon. You know, it's true that my brain is correlated with my consciousness or my contents of consciousness, but it's also true that the brain now is an object of my consciousness. It's true that, as in a debate I had with Christophe Koch, it's true that without my brain I would not have a consciousness, but without my consciousness I would not even notice I have a brain. Okay? So which one of these two sides, apparently both are perfectly valid, which one of these two sides is more valid? From the standpoint of reasoning, certainly the first side. But from the standpoint of present experience, certainly the second side. Because this is the most basic fact of all. Okay? That now I'm realizing that maybe I have a brain here. Maybe. Because I was told that I had. And because I must say, because I saw an fMRI of my skull. And the doctor told me, this is your brain. Okay, but this is, once again, my experience. So this is a very important point. Maybe I will conclude. I hope it's not too late. I will conclude. Is it okay? I will conclude with that. Which one of the two facts should be more important? Which one I should prioritize? I had to think a lot to convince myself, because it's not so easy. If I claim that, for instance, what is most primary is my experience, I forget all the teachings of the cultural and scientific tradition I am included in. All the reasonings I can do. All the experiments that have been done and collected in the past in the textbooks of neurobiology. So it's a bad thing. I'm self-contradicting. I'm contradicting myself on the level of evidence and reasoning. But now, if I say what is more important is the brain, and experience is a byproduct of it, I'm contradicting myself also, but then at another level. Which level? The level of my present experience. I suddenly see the absurdity of what I'm saying. I suddenly see that I'm trying to push aside what I am now in the name of an abstract knowledge. So, there are two types of self-contradictions. The one is what is called in philosophy a pragmatic contradiction. I'm contradicting all the acts I've done in the past to get knowledge. And the other one is what I call an existential contradiction. A contradiction with respect to what I am now, what I feel now. And this latter contradiction is even more painful, because I suddenly strip myself from myself at this very moment. And I will conclude on this.